So, good morning, everyone, and maybe I'll use this as a sound check that see if you can hear me, and also if it's relatively buzz-free compared to what it has been. And then we'll start in a minute or so. Great. So wonderful. Thank you. And so, starting this morning's meditation with an image. And the image is that of maybe taking a flat stone, kind of stone that you would maybe skip along the top of the surface of water. And you just kind of drop that stone into a pond, into a lake. And the stone just kind of falls down into the depths of the pond, to the depths of the lake, and settles in the bottom and rests there quietly. So that image for meditation practice, that we are settling ourselves and placing our attention within in a certain way and letting it just settle, drop, and come to rest, settle down. And there's a way in which even if the attention is focused on sounds, the world around us for meditation, some people do that. There is a way in which the quality of attention, the source of attention, becomes intimate. We kind of drop within a certain way to a place, to a reservoir, to a lake, where attention can rest in a vast kind of spacious space, like a beautiful open lake. When I was a small child, 10 or 11, 12, I spent a lot of time at the seashore swimming, and I would love to dive deep, wasn't that deep, maybe 5, 6 feet, 7 feet deep into the water and to the bottom and turn around and look up. And it was so peaceful, and I would see the waves kind of going around up above me, but where I was, it was so peaceful and calm. So to find ourselves inward in a certain way, in that peaceful, calm place where awareness can be open to our experience. And so to assume a meditation posture, and any posture will do that supports you to be alert. Sitting upright has some advantages, and in terms of this image, maybe it's a little bit easier to imagine the stone of awareness just dropping to some deep place inside when you're sitting. And then maybe you can let your gaze relax and focus downwards at about 45 degrees. Maybe the eyelids become kind of half closed and not really looking at anything in particular. Letting the eyes rest in their sockets. If it helps them relax, you can even imagine that your eyes are gently looking backwards or downwards into your body. And if it's nice for you, you can also close your eyes. And it's a ancient technique for getting settled is to take long, slow, deep breaths at the beginning. But deep breaths that are long breaths that are relaxed, easy, gentle. Just far enough that there's no strain, or we don't get winded. And as you take the deep breaths in, to relax your torso, so your belly expands out, your chest expands outwards. There's even the back rib cage. You can maybe feel them expand as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, also a longish exhale. Relaxed, easy about it, but maybe longer than you normally would exhale, but not to the point of it being a strain. Just as long as it's comfortable. Deep in-breath, deep out-breath. At the beginning of a sitting, it's sometimes nice also with the long, deep breaths to take a few moments to pause at the end of the out-breath. However long these moments are comfortable for you, easy for you, without a strain, without getting agitated. But to pause in that quiet, in the way the body becomes still. And as the body becomes still and quiet, perhaps you can allow your thinking mind to also become quieter and stiller. Attuning yourself to the physical quiet, stillness. Like you're listening to a musical note someone is playing, and you tune your guitar to that note, tune your voice to that note. So you tune your mind to the quiet and stillness that's within. Then letting your breathing return to normal. On the exhale, relaxing the muscles of the face. On the exhale, softening, relaxing the shoulders. On the exhale, softening the belly. And then see if you can find within a still, quiet place. So any place in your body that you associate with stillness, quiet, peacefulness, or calm. Whether or not you feel it now, is there a place inside you associate with those states? And in a moment I'll ask you to take a deep in-breath. And on the long exhale, imagine you're dropping a stone into a lake. And the stone settles to the bottom. The same way, let your mind become quiet and settled, dropping it close to this place of quiet within. Resting in the inner stillness. So taking a deep breath, exhaling and dropping yourself into your body, to that place of quiet and stillness, calm. and letting your breath return to normal. Relaxing on the exhale. Relaxing the thinking mind. And relax into the inner quiet of breathing in and out softly, gently. Then gently continue with your breathing. Perhaps if it's easy, breathing together with the inner quiet or stillness or peacefulness. And whenever you are exhaling, letting go of your thoughts. There's nothing you need to think about except staying close to the quiet stillness of breathing mindfully in your body. every time you exhale, see if you can let go of your thoughts and let your attention drop, relax into a place of quiet stillness within, like a rock dropping into a lake. Relaxing your thinking mind on the exhale. And noticing, has there been any shift in your mind state from the beginning of the meditation to the end? The quality of your mind, or your mood, mental mood, or your mental attitude. Has anything shifted? And if it has, is there a new perspective that provides that is beneficial for you? And then as we come to the end of this sitting, to turn your thoughts, your concerns, your vision out into the world around you. And is there some way that you can stay close to a quiet, still place within? Or whatever way that you benefited from the meditation, not to lose that, but to become aware, be reminded of the tremendous suffering in our world, the struggles of COVID and so many hospitals around the world, and so many bedsides, challenges of fires and floods, hurricanes, heat, war, earthquakes. We live in a world where these are parts of our world. And from our meditation, can we gaze upon it kindly? Can we gaze upon it with eyes that are supportive and inclined to help and to care, without becoming anxious, without becoming despondent, but from our meditation to just say relaxed and simple, a kind of ease and simplicity of looking upon the suffering of the world, and then wishing that we as individuals and as a community and as a world can live for the welfare and happiness of the world. Can we contribute to it? May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. So, on this Monday, start a new series, a new theme for the week. And the theme will be the third foundation of mindfulness. So the classic teachings on mindfulness as taught by the Buddha comes from a discourse called the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. And there are four domains, areas of our life with which we develop our mindfulness, our awareness, and so it becomes strong and clear, lucid, relaxed. And these four are the body, the feeling tones of our experience, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, the state of minds that we have, and the dhammas, the mental operations, activities with which we either get pulled into the world of suffering or get pulled out of it into the world of freedom. And this week we'll talk about the third foundation. In July, the theme for 1 week was the first foundation, and talked about some of the teachings there. That was in June, I think. And then in July, the topic was, there was a week where I did the feeling tones. And then in August, I talked about, for 1 week each, the greed, hatred, and delusion, and their opposites. And that was actually meant to be a preparation for talking about the third foundation. And so with and now I'm following up on the third foundation. And so I feel a little bit sorry that maybe they're not, these series and the 4 foundations of mindfulness are not right after each other so that they make sense to build. But a good number of you are familiar with the 4 foundations, so maybe you can just pick up here on the third foundation. I like to think of these 4 foundations as kind of providing kind of like a path. I just really like the metaphor of depth, so I apologize for those of you who don't like this kind of metaphor, going in, going deep. But another way of the metaphor is that of intimacy, that with the first foundation, we can be very intimate with our body, but the focus is on the body and the coarser experience. And sometimes some of the exercises is actually to be aware of the body in activity as we're walking and laying down and sitting, eating, just be aware of the body. And some of the exercises involve reflections, considering the body, developing a new relationship with the body that's helpful. And but so it's a little bit, provisionally we'll say a little bit coarser attention, more obvious, more, something solid you can maybe connect to. As we connect to the body and get intimate to it, then we start becoming aware of the subjective experience of pleasant and unpleasant that comes along with being grounded in the body. And it's subjective, so it's a little bit deeper than the body. It has to do with the interface between a lot of our inner mental life and the sensations that we experience. And that interface, we can experience it as either things as pleasant or unpleasant, and enjoyable, not enjoyable, comfortable, not comfortable. And now we're getting something closer, something that in some ways is more meaningful and more impactful for us, because it has to do with pleasant and unpleasant. There can be a lot of pain, for example, or a lot of pleasure that's felt. And then as we settle into that, and we start discovering that there's two different kinds of pleasant and unpleasant. There's that which has to do with the body itself and this ordinary senses. Like, so if I pinch myself, it hurts. Or if I get a massage, it feels good. And I'm sitting in a cold room, I might be uncomfortable. Sitting in a comfortable temperature room, I feel I can relax, perhaps. On a cold day, the warmth feels very nice and soothing. And so, that has to do with stimulating the ordinary senses of the body. But as we settle in meditation, we become aware that there's a deeper sense of pleasant and unpleasant, having to do with, in modern language, might call it our psychology, though with our inner mind state, our inner state of being. I like the expression state of being. And I know it's kind of a vague expression, and not everyone understands what it means, perhaps. But the quality, the characteristics of our state of being, that's independent on whether the world is providing us with pleasure or with pain. And so this inner sense of well-being, inner state of being, is getting closer, deeper, more intimate with us. And this state of being now, as we become aware of it, this is very closely connected, or maybe the same thing, as the state of mind. State of mind, the word is Citta, C-I-T-T-A. It's a very important word in the teachings of the Buddha. It's sometimes translated as mind. Sometimes it's translated as state of mind. Sometimes it's translated as thinking, thought. And so it's different contexts. It means kind of, that's the constellation of things that the word kind of points to. But it points to, I like state of mind or quality of being. It's the mood, overall mood or attitude through which we're aware of things. So, for example, if I'm um, angry, I can be angry as a flare-up in the moment about something in particular. And then it goes away, and my basic disposition hasn't changed. But when my disposition becomes an angry disposition, then we say that the state of mind has become angry. The inner quality, the quality of our being, has a kind of characterized by anger. It's an attitude or a mood that we carry with us that is more enduring than the flare-ups of the moment. So the same thing if I feel just tremendous goodwill for that goodwill, is not just that. Then it's not just a momentary goodwill and some encounter that I have, but there's a disposition of goodwill that characterizes the state of being, the mood, the state of mind that we have. Maybe for some of you it might be meaningful to know that some people translate the word citta, C-I-T-T-A, as heart. And so it's this quality of our heart. And now with this third foundation where we focus on this state of mind or state of heart, state of our inner being, now we're getting much more intimate. We're getting into something that's much more impactful, closer into what feels most intimate with us, that's not so tied to the vagaries of changing phenomena in the world, and a place where has a big impact on our mood, our sense of well-being, where we might feel a pervasive feeling of dread or pervasive feeling of greed or wanting, desperate wanting for something, or we might feel a pervasive mood of ill will, hostility, where we might feel the opposite of that. We might feel a tremendous mood or attitude of generosity, open-heartedness, where we might feel love or kindness, goodwill. And so now this is the mind state. And so as we settle, get quieter and quieter, maybe the breathing gets quieter, the body comes still and quieter, we feel at ease, relaxed, and things are comfortable, and enough that we start noticing what stands out and highlight is this inner disposition, this mood, the mind state, the heart state, how we are. And sometimes we discover that that's a difficult place. There's all kinds of ways which our inner life, people try to avoid it. They don't want to know it. They stay busy so they don't feel it because there might be some real sadness or grief there, or something we're very much afraid of, or some inner sense of conflict between different parts of ourselves. But to start becoming aware of this deeper inner state that we have, it allows the healing to unfold. It allows the purification, a term that's often used in Buddhism, purifying ourselves of the afflictive states that we have. And Buddhism in that sense is very optimistic. It's very encouraging that it is possible to change ourselves, that we're never stuck in any particular mood, any particular mind state that is afflictive, that harms us, that is difficult to be with, but that there is a path through it. And recently we've talked about faith and talked about patience, and these are all important states and qualities for being able to work with these deeper mind states, to have a lot of faith in the value of practice and enter into it, to have a lot of patience with what is difficult for us. And then it's possible to work through these, work through or open up or settle the afflictive mind states. Settle is a good term because afflictive mind states involve a certain kind of overactivity of the mind. There's action, activity of the mind that's generating boredom generating hatred or ill will, generating fear, despair. And as the mind gets quieter and stiller, that activity settles away, and we experience ourselves without those afflictive mind states. And as we do so, there's two different things that can happen. Either we start making room in our hearts for the opposite of the afflictive states to begin to appear. Generosity, love, wisdom. That's one thing that can happen. The other is that the mind state itself begins, the quality or the characteristic of it, the texture of it begins to change, where it starts becoming expansive, open. It starts feeling an ease that's related to freedom, and like the mind, the heart can now breathe easily because it feels free and unrestricted. And these are all these things are part of mindfulness of the mind state, the third foundation. Becoming mindful of mind states that are afflictive, those that are the opposite of afflictive, and those that come as the mind becomes freer and freer. And to feel this freedom of mind state, freedom of heart, is one of the great important teachers for us on this path of mindfulness. We become our own teacher as we begin recognizing the varied changing states of mind that we're capable of having, and beginning to notice and appreciate ones that support the movement towards freedom and wisdom and compassion and care and such things. So that's the introduction for this theme for this week. And I look forward to sharing this important part. And I'll say to end it that what we're looking at when we look at the mind state or the heart state that we have is the quality of our inner state, quality of our inner being. And it turns out that we are the primary or maybe the only custodian of our inner well-being. And so it isn't if we assume other people are the custodian of it, and our inner well-being is dependent on how other people treat us or what they do for us, then it's not really a reliable place to find happiness and well-being. But to learn through mindfulness to be the custodian of our own well-being is what's possible with this third foundation of mindfulness. So we'll talk more this week. So thank you very much.